people go to haunted houses and other adrenaline experiences because we're craving adventure. I think we want to get outside of our comfort zone and immerse ourselves in this other world. Everyday life can get a little old after a while. Working a 9-to-5 job can be a little mundane. And I think on the weekends, especially during the fall, we're just seeking adventure.
I knew what Jared was accomplishing back when we were in college, where people were falling to the ground, people were freaking out. I couldn't walk through his little, Ravenkill mansion back in the day without being, super, super scared. And that's me, right? And I'm helping build the thing.
Since I was a kid, I found myself ostracized quite a bit. I had a tough time paying attention in class. I spent a lot of time kind of sketching and not paying attention. I would be drawing these worlds on paper, and in my head I would visualize them. The boredom of being in class, and I just craved to escape reality. And at home I would spend a lot of time building Legos, so I would build these different worlds that I can just escape to. The cool thing about a haunted house experience is that there's no limit to the level of creativity when it comes to the characters, the environment.
I've never met more passionate people in an industry than anything before. I came in the architectural profession, and people you think are passionate about putting buildings up. No, like these people eat, breathe, and sleep haunted houses and just Halloween in general, and everything's scary. And I think that's why this industry just creates things that truly shock and amaze people and pull them out of their realities and put them in another reality.
With every great story, it starts with an inciting event, like something happens that causes a character or the hero to take the call to adventure. So in our case, it was the Hurricane Ida flood, which was tragic. Manioc was underwater, the Lincoln Mill was underwater, and there was so much damage from the flood that cost a lot of money to repair.
Jared is so, like I said, Jared's so in the weeds. Jared is like, he calls me, he goes, Brian, I created a jig, I figured this out. We're gonna build 280 wall panels, a combination of 4x8, 2x8 panels. He's like, we have a problem. I go, well, Jared, what's the problem? He goes, it's gonna take us so much more time than we anticipated. We're not gonna hit our opening night. And as soon as he's like, we're not gonna hit our opening night, I'm like, this is an issue. This shifts all my other priorities as an entrepreneur. I was like, I gotta figure this out.
A location below the Lincoln Mill that was uncovered from the flood, and that was the discovery of the hidden chamber. So the hidden chamber is that special world where all these bodies were found. Then you ask, why were these bodies found? Like, how'd they get here? It causes you to think a little bit deeper and uncover the tragic things that happened below the Lincoln Mill.
Jared is a creative, evil mastermind genius in just designing the coolest haunted experience I've ever seen. And then you have me, the business guy, right, that all I do all day long is solve problems and make relationships with people. And bringing that know-how to Jared as a first-time business owner, it's a powerful combination. And I think that's what allows us to solve problems like that as we continue to truck forward. Pulling
from multiple different visuals that I had, I mean, specifically Palpatine from Star Wars and Voldemort from Harry Potter. There was a few other ones, but I would probably say that those are two of the main ones, which you can probably see a little bit of the similarities. So I kind of took pieces of multiple villains that I thought were interesting when I was a child and kind of meshed them together to create the character of Victor Kane.
Heading up to the entire build time of the haunt, there was this friction between Jared and I, right? Because I had multiple hats I had to play, right? I had to play real estate developer, right? I had purchased this building. I have other tenants in the building. I have other things that need to get done in this building to, bring it back to the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, right? So it was constantly Jared every day. Can we start construction yet? Can we start building the sets? Can we start getting deliveries? And I'm like, on the other hand, I'm like, no, we don't have HVAC yet. The electrical's not done. The plumbing's not done.
There's an area towards the end of the attraction called Victor's Psychosis. This area pretty much takes you into Victor's mind. So the environment itself pretty much has you going through this double spiral. In this part of the attraction, you get to meet Victor as a child, and you get to kind of tap into his memories. So you get to meet this memory glimpse of his mother and his childhood bully. Ultimately, Victor had a twin brother when he was very young. His name was Vincent. It was believed that Victor killed his twin brother. We're not sure how that happened. That ultimately led his mother to resent him. His mother figure, who he's supposed to look up to, essentially resents him, which ultimately leads to being bullied very much in school. And it was just kind of this double spiral that Victor, as a child, just craved to have control in his life because he never had control. So as he kind of aged and began working at his grandfather's textile mill, the Lincoln Mill, he kind of saw an opportunity to gain control again and pretty much oppress all the people that worked for him. It's kind of a vengeance story in a way.
You know, I remember just telling Jared, like, look, June 1, like June 6, whatever it is, I was like, I don't care where we're at, like, it's go time. And I was like, give me till June 6 and the place is yours. And that's what we did. You know, we literally June 6th, it was like go time. And you know, there was a little bit of balance and delicate act of like starting, you know, setting up all the sets and everything, but we got through it. But I do remember the show, you know, we did it on that June 6th. It was like the floors are done, the walls are done, the HVAC is just about done. It's like, let's get to it.
Starting from scratch, we had nothing. Even the building had so much damage from the Hurricane Ida flood. With all the damage, there were contractors in here repairing the mill, and we really couldn't start construction until mid-June. I'm a full-time architect. I work Monday through Friday as an architect. I actually design schools. Pretty much my time building the haunted house was restricted to the weekends. I live over an hour away, so it didn't make sense for me to come here during the week. So I would literally come down on a Friday afternoon and work all the way through Sunday on the haunted house. I think we had about 18 weekends of working on the attraction before we actually opened up on October 6th.
Lincoln Mill is not my only obligation, right? I have other businesses, I have other people that rely on me to be in other places and other capacities at all times. And that I think in the beginning was, you know, was hard for Jared and I to get on the same page about that. Like, look, Jared, like, I'll give you as much physical time as I can, but I might not be able to be there every weekend. I might not be able to be there every night after work, you know, and I think that was something that, you know, we figured out. And again, it was also out of necessity, right? Like there'd be a week where we didn't meet, but then there'd be like weeks where we met every single night because we had to. Jared, not being such a business person like I am, he doesn't necessarily realize that, like, you know, I also work a 9 to 5, but I work a 6 to 9 and I work a 5 to 2 a.m. almost every day. And I think that's, you know, it was a little bit for Jared to understand it, but I think he got it as we were like halfway through this thing, and that allowed us to start having and being more, not really, it just allowed us to be more productive and efficient with our time.
I was a little embarrassed by just the level of quality because I knew we can do a lot better. I had designs for this to be a lot better, but just time restricted us so much with what we can physically possibly do. But I feel a lot better now. We've been working on the attraction year round, and the weaker areas we've just been making improvements upon, and I feel pretty good now.
There's nothing else like this in the industry, and I was like, this is gonna not only shock and amaze people, but like people are gonna get addicted. People are gonna be like, wow, I do not feel like I am on planet Earth anymore. I literally feel like I'm in the basement of Victor Kane's lair, and I see him experimenting on his mill workers, and I'm lucky to be able to walk through here and survive. And that's the feeling I got when I first walked through it, and I was like, this is different. This is better than a Disney ride. This is like, you know, you get excited and you smile, but like, no, I feel like I'm here. Like I feel like I'm doing something wrong by like not notifying authorities that I found this. And that was like, that it hit for me, and I was like, we're on to something here. I said, this is gonna shake the industry, and this is gonna change what a haunted experience should be.